For today's DIY, we will be making 4 DIYs inspired by other makers. Hey, I'm Daniela with DD's Art Workshop. If you like staying on a budget and DIYs, this channel is for you. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. Our first DIY is inspired by Sandra's farmhouse decor. Make sure to check her out. For this DIY, I'm going to be using this DIY 3D craft kit that I purchased at Dollar Tree, and I had been looking for this since last year because I had seen a couple makers use this, so I'm super excited that I finally found it at my Dollar Tree. I'm going to start off with the little base, and I'm going to be painting it in this nutmeg brown, and I'm going to be also adding a little bit of white with a dry brush. You guys, and let me know if you have seen this nativity scene at your Dollar Tree, and if you have, let me know what you have done with it. I would love to see. I think this is so cute. You could do so much with it. My only regret is not getting another one. I hope I find another one, or if not, I'm gonna have to wait till next year. We're gonna come back to our base, but we're gonna let that dry. And now I am going to be painting the little figures, and it comes with Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus and the 3 wise men. And what I'm gonna do with these, I'm gonna paint them in a different brown. I'm gonna be adding just a little bit of water, and I'm gonna be adding a little bit of brown and a little bit of black. I do think that I added a little bit too much black on mine, but it's okay, it still worked out. This is going to give it a stained look. I was out of white bees. You can also use a white bee with your acrylic paint, but I didn't have any, so I'm just going to be adding some acrylic paint into some water, mix it up, and it will give you kind of like a stained look or a stained effect. And it's just a really quick and easy way to paint your wood, especially for smaller projects, because you don't need that much, you just need a little bit of paint. And if you want your stain to look a little bit darker, just give it a second coat once it dries. This dries pretty fast, you guys. Since the pieces are really small, they dry really quickly. I'm going to be painting the manger in the same nutmeg brown as I did the base. And we're also going to add a little bit of white with a dry brush, but we're going to wait till the little base dries, and we're going to wait till this little barn dries so we can go ahead and add a little bit of white. So now with a little bit of acrylic white paint, the base does have a lot of white, but I'm not going to add a lot of white on the other pieces. I wanted the white to show up a little bit more, so I didn't dry it too much. I just wanted the white to really show up, only on the base. And I'm gonna do the same for the barn, but for the barn I'm just adding a little bit of white, not as much as I did to the base. And so for this one I did draw my brush a little bit more because I didn't want so much white on the brush and on the barn. So it should look like this. I really like the way it's looking, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It's really rustic and really farmhouse, like a farmhouse look. To our little figures, we're going to do the same thing. I am using that same brush with thick bristles. I added a little bit of white. I dried it off a little bit, so it's kind of like a dry brush effect, and I'm adding just a tiny bit on each of my figures. And I really liked this DIY because it's so simple. This DIY can also be for kids, but they would probably just use solid colors, but I really like it as well for a home decor DIY because it really does look like wood, and you could really play with your browns and with your stained look, and it's really pretty. I don't know, but I love it, you guys. Let me know what you think. So that would be it for the little 3D set that comes in the pack. And as you can see, you can set it up just like this or any way you'd like. It has those little slits where the little figures just go right in. But since I am inspired by Sandra on the Instagram I showed you in the beginning, I am going to be adding a back to it. And I'm going to be using some popsicle sticks for this, and you can find this at any craft store or Dollar Tree. And I'm going to be just measuring kind of like the back of my little barn and cutting it with some scissors, and I'm going to be cutting a few of these, that way it covers the whole back to give me just a background to my nativity scene. So So I cut about 5 popsicle sticks, or not about 5 popsicle sticks, and with that same stained dark wood, I'm gonna go ahead and paint one of them, and I'm gonna paint them in different shades of brown. That way they all look different. And then I'm gonna glue them to the back. So just have fun with this part, and I'm also gonna be adding the dry brush effect later on some of these just to make it look different. And here we are adding a little bit of white to some of the little popsicle sticks. And let me know what you are thinking of this DIY so far. Let me know what you do different. Let me know if you're gonna make it. Remember to tag me. If you do, remember to tag Sandra, the original person who inspired me to make this little DIY. It's so crazy because I had just seen this DIY and then I found the nativity scene. So it was a perfect timing, you guys, for this collab, for the recreation inspiration. Now we get to glue down our little popsicle sticks to the back of our nativity scene. And I am just using my hot glue gun. I'm using my Gorilla Glue sticks with my Gorilla Glue gun, and I am simply gluing them to the back just like this. You can also use wood glue if you'd like, but this is what I'm going to be using. Now I also cut this tiny little stick, or this tiny little popsicle stick, and I'm going to be gluing it to the back because there's a little bit of space left and I just didn't want that to be showing and not to match with the rest of my barn. Okay, you guys, so this is optional, but I did see that her house had a little bit of a roof. So I'm just going to be cutting 2 popsicle sticks. That way they make the little roof or the little back of my barn. That way it looks similar to hers. And I'm going to be painting those in my little stain that I made, or just do it in any brown. And then we're going to be gluing this down to the back of the barn so it could be the little roof. And I'm also going to be adding a little bit of white, just a tad, on the 2 popsicle sticks, and it's just going to add that final touch. And now we are ready to glue them down. I'm just gluing a little bit on the back of the barn, gluing the 2 little popsicle sticks down, and then I'm going to be adding a little bit more glue because I don't want that to fall off. Didn't show it on my video, but you should always seal your work for lasting protection, and so that wood really pops and so it looks like actual stained wood. You can always use an acrylic sealer, or Mod Podge works as well. Personally, I like the satin look because it really makes that wood pop. Now I'm interrupting my own video to let you know that this DIY is part of the Recreation Inspiration Open Challenge, hosted by 6 Kids and a Glue Gun and Crafty Art Shack. Make sure to check them out in the description below, and also check out the playlist where you can meet other awesome makers and get more inspiration. Our next DIYs are inspired by Hallmark Channel Home and Family DIY Christmas spoons, and it looks like maker Paige Hemis is the one who made these super cute DIYs. Now for this DIY, I'm going to be using 4 spoons, and I'm actually only going to be showing you 3, but I am using 2 circles and 2 squared spoons. And we're going to start off with the round spoon, and I'm going to start painting it in white. Just the top portion. I'm not painting the whole spoon because I do want a little bit of wood to show. And you can purchase these at Dollar Tree, which is where I found them. They are individually sold, like $1.25 each, but I've also seen them in the $5 section, and I believe they sell them in a set of 3 or 4 or 5. I don't remember. They do cost a little bit more, but it's not so bad because they come in a pack. Now the second spoon, I'm going to be painting in this nutmeg brown, and I'm just going to be painting the top as well. Now for this DIY, I am inspired by the Hallmark page, but I am changing my design. I'm changing the look just to give it my own twist, so they are not going to be identical. They are going to be in inspiration from this beautiful creation from this amazing maker. And that's what I love about inspirations. You can just get inspired and give it your own twist. Now for my third spoon, I am going to be making a Santa. I am adding a little Santa hat, and I am also making a little face, and I'm adding a little bit of nutmeg brown, but I do want to lighten my Santa just a little bit, so I'm going to be adding a little bit of white, and I'm going to be mixing it. That way the browns are different and they don't all look the same, because I don't want them to like all mesh, you know. I want them to stick out each individual spoon to really stand out. So I'm adding a little bit of white. You can actually do this, you don't have to like mix it on the spoon, that's just what I'm doing. And this is gonna give it a different shade than my other spoon. Now for my fourth spoon, I'm going to be using the squared spoon. I'm going to be using this nutmeg brown, and this one is going to be a reindeer. So I'm super excited for you guys to craft with me and for you to give it your own twist. Let me know in the comments below if you will be making it. If you do, don't forget to tag me. I would love to see. Now for this spoon, I'm also adding just a little bit of white because once again, I want to give it a different shade. I don't want all the browns to look the same. So just add a little bit of white until you get the shade of your choice. For the fun part, we get to start on our first spoon, and it's going to be a snowman. I'm going to use the back of my paintbrush and I'm going to add 2 little black circles. This is going to be my snowman's 2 little eyes. Now we are ready to add the nose, and I'm going to be using this Pueblo, and I really love this orange because it's like a darker orange. And if you've seen my other videos, you know how I love adding little pink cheeks to my little characters, and I'm just going to be dabbing a little bit of pink with my pinky. Look at how cute the snowman's already looking, but we're not done. And of course, always use your blow dryer to speed up the drying process. And now we are ready to add just a little bit of white, just a little speck of white on the eyes. With a fine brush, I'm going to be adding little eyebrows and little eyelashes just to give it more of a personality and more of a character. I'm also going to be adding a little mouth, a little squiggly line, and I'm going to be adding a little mouth that it's open just to give it a different look. I had these little sparkly pom-poms, and I'm gonna be using 2 in green, and with these pipe cleaners or Chanel stems, I'm going to be making some little earmuffs for our little snowman. And I just think this is so adorable. It really gives it a unique look. I have seen several ideas on these spoons, you guys, so I kind of mixed my own from everything I saw, and I love how it's turning out, you guys. And this is only our first spoon, so stick around to see the other 3. Once our snowman has its little earmuffs, we are ready to add a little scarf. I had this little candy cane ribbon. I believe I got it at Dollar Tree. It's a little bit thick, but it's okay. We're only going to be adding a little knot, and that way it looks like a little scarf. And we're going to be gluing down the bottom so it doesn't stick out and stick up. I'm going to cut it a little bit to my desired length, and I'm going to be adding a little bit of hot glue. That way it stays down. There you have it, our first spoon, which is a snowman, and I am loving the final look, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, let me know what we should name him. Our second spoon is going to be a reindeer, and this is probably my favorite one, you guys. I'm going to be adding 2 little lines, and these are going to be the antlers, just so I kind of get an idea on how long they're supposed to be. I'm going to add a little bit of paint, and I'm just going to add 2 little lines, and this is going to give it more of the shape of the antlers. With my pencil, I'm going to add 2 little lines, and just so I can get an idea on where I want the 2 little eyes, I'm going to be adding 2 little eyelashes. I had this sparkly ribbon, which I think I purchased at Dollar Tree, of course, but I have all sorts of ribbon at home, and I thought this sparkly one was really going to stick out, and I'm just wrapping it around to the bottom of the reindeer, and it kind of looks like it's the collar that they use. And with this red pom-pom, I'm going to be using it for the red red nose, you guys, and I really love the different two textures that we're using for this particular spoon. And now we are ready to add the mouth, and I'm just gonna add a little circle to give it a cuter look, like a surprised look, and I think it's looking super cute, you guys. Let me know what you guys think of this reindeer spoon, you guys. I am loving it. Stay tuned because we have 2 more spoons to make for this second DIY. Our third spoon is going to be a gingerbread cookie, and all I am doing is with a fine brush, I'm going to be adding a squiggly line to the top so it looks like frosting. With the back of my paintbrush, I'm going to grab a little bit of black and I'm going to do 2 little circles, and these are going to be the 2 little eyeballs. We are now grabbing a little bit of red, and with the same paintbrush, with the back of my paintbrush, we're going to be adding a little circle, and we're going to be adding 2 little pink cheeks to give it more of a cute look. And with that same white, once again, we're going to be adding a squiggly line for the mouth. It's looking so cute, don't you think? This one is so simple, you guys, but it's so cute with just little details. It really all comes together. I'm adding 2 little lines in the bottom of the 2 circles just to give it a different look than the other ones, and 2 little specks, 2 little white specks, you guys. I thought that this laced ribbon was perfect for this gingerbread spoon. I just think it goes perfectly. I don't know, it really reminds me of a baked cookie, you guys. Let me know what you think of this one. I really love it, you guys. Now the lighting is not so good here, but you get the hang of it. You will see it better in the final look, but I am loving it. Our fourth and final spoon is this Santa. We have already painted his face in like a skin color, and now we are adding a little bit of white for that fluff that goes on the hat, and we are giving the hat a shape, you guys. For Santa's hat, we will be using this apple red, and I'm just going to be painting all that top in red, and it's really starting to come alive, you guys. With a pencil, I'm going to get an idea on where I want Santa's eyes. I started off thinking I wanted one eye open and one eye winking, but that is going to change. You will see what I'm talking about. I changed my mind. I don't know, I just didn't like it, but I'm going to leave it like that for now. You will see how I change it, and I'm going to be adding the little beard and the little mustache. So I'm just kind of going with the flow and just painting it on, leaving a little opening in the middle for the mouth, and we will be working on that in a bit. Now I didn't show this part, but with a wipey I completely just took off that circled eye. I didn't like it. I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. So I just decided to make Santa's both eyes be closed. And for the mouth, I'm adding a little bit of red for the tongue, and I'm adding a little bit of black for the mouth. And I know it looks funny right now, but it'll all come together once I finish, you guys. I was not sure where I was going with Santa. I was just going with the flow. I didn't have really an idea on Santa like I did with the others, but you guys, it's really gonna look cute, so stick around. Now for the buttons, I'm gonna use it for Santa, like for his coat. And once I decided to add buttons, I'm like, you know what, I need to paint the bottom in red so you can see that he's wearing his little suit. Once again, I'm not painting it until the bottom because I do want to see that wooden spoon. I think it's pretty, you know, to see that it's a spoon, even though we know it's a spoon, but I really like that wooden color. And we're also adding a little pom-pom for the nose. I decided to do it in pink just so it's not red like reindeer or red like his suit, and I am adding little buttons just all the way to the bottom. And this is the look, you guys. I am loving Santa. He is super cute with his little closed eyes. Let me know which of the 4 spoons is your favorite, and of course don't forget to seal your work with an acrylic sealer or with Mod Podge. Our next DIY is gonna be a reindeer. Inspired by a reel Melly Mel's Craft posted. It was not about the reindeer, but I saw it in the background and she posted it as her cover photo of her reel, and I spotted it and I loved it. I purchased this at Dollar Tree and it's a breadboard, a mini breadboard, you guys, and it's so cute. I wish I would have gotten more. So I'm gonna start off with using that pre-made stain look that I made earlier for the nativity scene. And all we did here was added a little bit of brown, a little bit of black, and diluted it in water. And I'm just using my paintbrush to give it a stained look. Once we blow dry just a bit to speed up the process, we're gonna add a little bit of white, just as we did to the nativity scene. We're gonna clean it up a bit and dry brush it just a bit and just get that white on there as dark or as light as you like. I'm gonna start off with the reindeer's eyes, and with this little Dollar Tree sponge, I'm going to add a little bit of black for the eyes. And I was originally gonna do it white for the back, but I did it in black for some reason. I don't know why. And at first I was like, oh my god, this is looking so bad when I first added the two circles. But no, you guys, it actually turned out so cute. This is what happens when you work with the mistakes you make. This was supposed to be white, not black, but it's okay. I just inverted the colors, and with a paintbrush I just want my circle to be more defined, more circular, so I am just going over that circle. That way it's nice and smooth on the edges. And we're going to be adding a little bit of white, like the little speck for the eyeball, and it's looking so cute already, you guys. And I'm kind of like, where am I going with this? Because like I said, originally the back was supposed to be white, but it's okay because it turned out super cute. Just wait and see to see all the final looks and the final DIYs all together. Now with this lighter blue, I'm going to use my fine brush and I'm just going to add a little line to the bottom just to give it more of a detail look. And we are adding some lashes, of course, to the top and to the bottom. And we're also adding two little eyebrows. Now with my red, I'm ready to add my big red nose, you guys. And we want the nose to be pretty big and bigger than the eyes. So I am doing an oval and painting it nice and red. Now I do want to add a little highlight with some white, and it's just a little line and a little dot to the side. Now I'm going to be using the Chanel stems once again, or the pipe cleaners, whatever it is you call it, and I'm going to be using a glittered one. I decided to add some antlers, that way it's more of a reindeer and you can really tell it's a reindeer. And I'm going to be twisting it, and since these do have wires, it's pretty simple. I'm twisting it that way there's two little strands on each side, and then my other Chanel stem I've already cut, and I'm going to cut smaller strands, that way we can start giving the antlers some shape. And this DIY is cute for your home, for your own home decor, or I think it would be really nice to make with kids. Like if they're old enough to actually make their own with the face and stuff like that, I think this would be so fun. Or maybe a project you could do with your family or with your friends, a DIY night, or just for yourself, just for your home, you guys. Let me know what you're thinking. We're not done yet, but I am loving how it's looking, you guys. Now with some ribbon, the same lace ribbon we used for the gingerbread spoon, we're going to be adding a little knot to the top of my reindeer. And then I decided my little reindeer needed a mouth, so with a pencil I'm simply going to dry it and then paint over it with a thin brush. Of course, don't forget to seal your work with an acrylic sealer, and this is the final look. Our last DIY is inspired by Pinterest and this maker, Ariana. We're going to be using this small wood slice. You can get it at any craft store. We got it from Amazon because we got a few of these for a DIY we want to make. And I'm also using this styrofoam ball. And with some acrylic paint, I'm going to be adding the little snowman's face. We're going to set our snowman aside to dry. We're going to come back to it, and we're going to add a little bit of white acrylic paint to our wood circle. This is going to be the snow, and it's going to represent how the little snowman is melting. Now we're going to go back to the snowman and add some little white specks to the eyes and some little details to the eyes, like the eyebrows and eyelashes. the snowman's head dries, I had these little sticks at home that I always have for DIYs, and you can just get these from your backyard, and these are gonna be the snowman's little hands. And we're gonna start gluing down the snowman's head and his little arms, but we're not done yet, so stick around to see the final look. Our little snowman is starting to take shape, but he also needs a little scarf. So with this candy cane ribbon, I'm going to give it a scarf. Now this ribbon is actually a little bit stiff. It doesn't have a wire and it's not a soft ribbon. So it's giving me a hard time to actually tie it down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get the length that I want, and then I'm gonna cut it just like this, and I'm gonna glue it down just so I have one little strand of the scarf just like this. And then once I'm happy with this part, I'm gonna be adding the other little part of the ribbon that I cut off, and I'm gonna add it just like this, and then I'm just gonna cut it down a little bit just so it's not too long. Now our snowman needs a hat, of course, so I had this thick felt, and with the top of this button container, I found it was perfect for the hat. I'm going to use it as a stencil, and I'm going to cut the circle for the bottom part of the hat. I'm also cutting a smaller circle inside of the circle. That way it gets a better hold on the snowman's head, and that way it will glue better. Now we're going to get an idea of the round of the hat, so we're just going to kind of go off of the circle we did, wrap it around. I'm going to kind of get an idea on how tall I want the hat to be, and then I'm going to cut it down if needed if it's too tall. Okay, I think I'm satisfied with the height, so I'm gonna hot glue this strip onto the little circle that we've already cut out. Now we need a top to this hat, so I'm just gonna turn over my little hat, and I am going to trace that circle from the top of the hat, and this is gonna just be the perfect size, and I'm gonna cut it out and glue it on my little hat. Now we can glue that little circle we just cut out to the top of the hat for it to look like a hat actually. But we still have some details to add, so stick around. And this little hat is super cute and so small, but I'm gonna be adding some glitter ribbon to the side of the hat, to the bottom side, because I just think it needs a little bling and just to give it another little detail. And now we are ready to glue the little top hat to our little snowman. Which, by the way, let me know what's a good name for this little adorable snowman. I'm adding some buttons, 3 little buttons, a little bit crooked because he's melting. And with this fine pen, I'm going to be adding I'd Melt For You. But you guys, I wish I had a marker. This is just a pen. I didn't have a fine marker. I think a marker would show up a little bit more. So I did have to give it like a few coats on this, maybe like 3 coats. But I think a fine marker would work just fine, like a paint marker or something like that. So I'd Melt For You. I think this is super cute. You could give this to somebody, or it's just a cute little craft for a loved one, and maybe even make with kids. And look at how adorable this little snowman DIY looks. I am loving the final look, you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this DIY. Let me know which of these DIYs was your favorite. The little DIYs could also be even used for tiered tray decor, and the spoons could be gifts. And don't forget to seal your work, of course. I am loving all of these, you guys. I don't know which one is my favorite. Let me know in the comments below which one is yours. These DIYs remind me of 2 Corinthians 9:15. Thanks be to God for his inexpressible gift. He is the reason for this season, and he is the greatest gift of all. He gives us love, peace, and everything that we need this Christmas. So if you're lacking love or anything, you know you can find it in him. These little DIYs just bring us a little bit of joy, and this beautiful nativity scene reminds us of that gift. So I hope today we can remember together the true reason for the season, and of course enjoying the little things in life like crafting. And I hope I was able to bring you a little bit of joy this season. And if you're new here, remember that you have a new friend who loves crafting on a budget. So if you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on your notification bell to be notified on my next DIY. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for your love and support. And if you'd like to support my crafting, you can support me at Buy Me a Coffee. And of course, find me on all social media platforms. Thank you so much for crafting with me today. Don't forget to spread love, kindness, and stay crafty.